Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Mason. I am a videographer for a media production company based here in the UK. And in my spare time, I like to make videos like this one where I teach you guys new skills and teach you how to become better filmmakers. So with that said, today we're going to be talking all about B-roll and what you guys can do as creatives to take your cinematic sequences to the next level. Now let's assume that you are comfortable shooting B-roll sequences and shooting cool cinematic stuff. You've done a little bit here and there, but you're looking to give it that little extra bit of special sauce and just kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. Maybe you're looking to start a production company, maybe you're looking to charge for those services, but you just don't feel like you're at that level yet. Or maybe you just want to level up those skills and get better at making cool cinematic sequences. Either way, today I'm going to give you some tips, some tricks to do just that. Now, not only am I going to be giving you guys those tips and tricks, but a little later on we are going to be talking about a competition that I am running on the channel where you guys could potentially win $50 to put towards some gear that maybe you've been saving up for. A one-to-one call with me to discuss just about anything. We can talk YouTube, we can talk filmmaking, we can just shoot the shit. It's really up to you guys. And also, some of my favorite videos that get entered into that competition are going to get featured in a future video. So be sure to stick around for that because I am excited to tell you guys all about it. But for now, let's get into the tips. Now, the first thing that makes a huge difference to any cinematic or B-roll sequence is the story. It's the motivation behind the shots. Why are we seeing what we're seeing? How are we seeing what we're seeing? Why is it being delivered the way that it is? A sequence should either tell its own self-contained story or lend itself to the overall story as a whole. It should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It kind of sets the scene for the rest of the story and maybe gives your viewers some valuable information, like kind of exposition on where are we? Who are the characters? What are they doing? Why are they here? All that kind of good stuff can be done using B-roll sequences. Now, sometimes when you go to shoot, the story is going to be immediately clear. For example, if you're shooting a sequence of a chef preparing some food, you've got a clear beginning, middle, and end. He gets the ingredients, he does what he needs to do, here's the end dish, here's the end result, it looks delicious. Right off the bat, there's your story. As great as it would be for this to be the case every single time you go and shoot something, a lot of the time it's not going to be that clear. For example, if you're showcasing a location like I did with my office at the beginning of this video, the story might not jump out. There's nothing really happening. The story in that case is the story of the space itself. The music lends itself to the feel of the space. I showed some of the detail, I showed some of the things I have in the office just to give you guys a general feel and vibe and set the scene for where we are. Now sometimes, and I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you as well, you'll be watching a video or you'll be watching a show and there'll be a whole load of kind of visually pleasing, kind of aesthetically nice looking shots that have been cut into that show, but they don't do anything to further or develop the story. And while it might look cool, it can actually do more harm than good and really ruin the flow of your videos. So when you are shooting these sequences, try and find something that links everything together. Maybe you'd have a consistent character or a consistent object, or even just grouping together different scenes can really help create a more cohesive experience for the people watching your videos. Music is so vital for creating a cohesive sequence. If the video clips are all your little bits of story and exposition that you want to give to the viewer, the music is kind of like the glue that sticks it all together. So with that in mind, where do you start? Well, like most things, you start at the beginning. Before you even start looking for tracks, there's a few key points that you should have already considered and already have pretty set in stone up here. First and foremost, what role is the music playing? Is it the only thing sound-wise that you're going to have in your sequence, or are you maybe going to add some sound design? Maybe you're going to drop the music out and just have some entirely diegetic sequences, which are quite popular in modern music videos. That's the first thing to consider. Secondly, how do you want the viewer to feel? What emotions do you want your track to evoke from them? Do you maybe want it to be sad? Do you want it to be happy? Do you want it to be carefree, uplifting, powerful? All the words, just... Next up, are the audio and visuals going to clash? Remember, nobody wants to watch you eat a sandwich while a drum and bass or dubstep remix of your favorite song plays in the background. Trust me. And lastly, does it go with any other tracks that you've used? For example, if I was recording this talking head and I had a nice sad piano track and I was talking about something really deep and meaningful, and then I dipped into a B-roll sequence and I had like heavy rock, it's probably not going to gel well. It's going to be a little bit jarring for anybody who's watching the video. The last thing that I do want to touch on with music, and it is a really, really important one, is to let the music guide the edit. All the time on YouTube, in these types of videos, I hear people say, cut to the beat. And while I hugely recommend that, yes, you do cut to the beat, it's really important and definitely makes a better sequence, don't just cut to the beat. Make sure you listen to the whole track. Listen to all of the instruments, and maybe if there's somewhere where there's a cool little sound effect or a cool little noise on an instrument where you think you can add a cool edit or a cool effect, go for it. Remember that the attention to detail will take your cinematic sequence and just turn it up a notch. Please, please, please vary the types of shots you're using. I'm talking focal lengths, I'm talking movements, I'm even talking lack of movements. If you have access to multiple lenses, don't just shoot everything at 85mm or just shoot everything at 100mm. Remember that using wide shots gives your viewer a sense of perspective, while using your mids and your close-ups to provide more kind of intricate detail. Don't be afraid to swap lenses. In terms of movement, don't always go left to right. Remember that you can tilt, you can pan, you can push in, you can push out. Maybe you want to reveal from behind an object. Mix it up, keep it interesting, and make sure that it's not too repetitive or too predictable. Otherwise, it just gets a little bit boring to watch. The very last thing that I do want to talk about before we get into that challenge announcement is pacing. Varying the length of your shots along with the track that you choose sets the pace for your entire sequence. If you linger too long on one shot, it can feel long and drawn out. Whereas if you cut too quickly, it can feel like the viewer may have missed some detail, but not only that, they also might feel quite tense and rushed and panicked and stressed, and that's just something that you might not want. It's also really important that if you're using just a kind of a standard 4/4 beat, that you don't just cut on every same snare hit. It can become really repetitive and really boring to watch, and the longer you can keep your viewer guessing what's coming next, the longer and more intrigued they're going to be by the video. So those are all the tips that I have for this video, which means that we can get into what you all actually clicked on the video for, the challenge. I know right now with the pandemic happening all over the world, a lot of people have kind of lost their ambition and drive to create video or create anything. I also know that those same people have maybe been stuck at home and poured a lot of time and effort into making their creative spaces. I know I have. You might have noticed the set is a little bit different because I've been here and I've been kind of going a bit crazy. So I thought I'd put some effort into making the set a little bit different. So what I want to do is give people a chance to showcase their creative spaces, while also providing them with a prompt to make something cool and maybe a little bit different, and potentially practice some of the skills we've talked about in this video, along with any of the others that they might have been learning while they've been stuck at home. All you need to do is create a cinematic sequence of where you do your creative work. It can be a studio, it can be a home office, it can be a desk under the stairs, it really doesn't matter. Using a track from either MusicBed or Epidemic Sound, and these aren't sponsors, I just plan on showcasing these in a future video, and those are the platforms that I pay for. So if you could use one of those, that means I can feature your video without any problems. I've also left a 30-day free trial to both of them. I've left a link down in the description, so if you don't have a subscription to either of those platforms, you can check that out down there. Plus, if nothing else, it's 30 free days to a platform that you may not have had 30 free days to before you clicked on this video. So using a track from either one of those two platforms, create a cinematic sequence no longer than 1 minute of where you do your creative work. When you're done, upload it to YouTube and send it to me on Twitter with the hashtag #WhereICreateChallenge. I'll then pick a winner and they will receive a $50 gift card to put towards some new gear, potentially something they've been saving for, or maybe just something that they like the look of. They'll also get the opportunity to jump on a one-to-one video call with me where we can talk about YouTube or filmmaking or just about anything else they want. I'll also feature that winner and a few of my favorite runners-up in a future video. You guys have got 2 weeks to get your submissions in, so that gives you until the 9th of June to send those to me on Twitter, and I really, really look forward to seeing them. If you have any questions or there is anything that I haven't covered, please do leave me a comment because it's very likely that I've forgotten something. It's my first video in over 100 days, so I'm a little bit frazzled. Okay guys, that is it from me for this video. I very much look forward to seeing your submissions over on Twitter soon. If you did like this video, go ahead, hit that like button, it really helps me out. Leave me a comment and let me know if you are going to enter. I'll be hyped to know if you plan on shooting a video for this competition. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads, because you might win and you'd be in a video and then you wouldn't see it, and that would be really sad. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to go. Take it easy. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I don't know why I'm snapping my fingers so much. Peace.